in there. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? This is David with another light stream coming live from the 5XL. It's been a lot, not even a little bit, it's been a good while. So I just want to open up by saying it's been quite a lot, and I've been dealing with quite a lot, and I'm sure we've all been dealing with quite a lot. And so I just wanted to say, like, thank you guys for, tuning in when you do. And if you've been keeping up with me on TikTok, if you've been keeping up with me on my other socials, Instagram and stuff like that, always appreciated. And as well as, to everybody here on the 5XL. And if you're not on the 5XL, you should definitely hit that follow button and, be ready for everything that's already readily available there. So, but with that, I just want to also say just a lot of gratitude for all this momentum that I've been going through lately, and all this change that I've been going through lately, and all of this letting go that I've been going through lately. And it's not been easy. It's actually been quite the journey. It's been very surreal. I've had to come to terms with a lot, and I don't want to get emotional, but it has been a lot. And I had a dear friend who's still struggling to fight the good fight, and that's probably big part of why I've had to kind of step back from everything, was stepping on, loose footing as far as their condition and how it's worsening, how it's getting better, how it's worsening, how it's getting better. So, and then I know on the global scale, everything is kind of, this way and that way, and it's been a lot. So, uh, not to rapid fire through everything, but coming up to this moment, the big catalyst for me was the overturning of Roe versus Wade, and I thought long and hard about if I should say something, what I could say about something. I talked to a lot of friends of mine, but at the end of the day, I really feel like me being a cis male, um, and actively getting closer to that with hormone therapy. I really feel like it's a cis woman topic that we as cis men need to, not even cis men, just everyone across the gender board needs to really stand behind our cis women right now, and the overall, hurdle that this has created for them. It's our hurdle as well, but it's more so standing in solidarity with them. So just for about a minute, I'm going to go silent. And the reason for this silence is to kind of like insert cis female dialogue on the topic. So if you're a cis woman watching, this is kind of for you. Not kind of, it is for you, this silence. And this is the silence that's not being heard. So it's a lot to take in, the current state of the world. And like I said, that silence was for the women who have not been heard out there. This is women that have not been heard out there. And I do have a lot to say, but again, it's not my space to say. So if you're a woman, a cis woman, please, you know what I mean, speak your mind about what you feel about this whole Roe versus Wade thing. I know it seems like we're kind of far from the decision, but that's exactly when it becomes concrete. Is enough time passes that they kind of throw something else into the perpetual machine, the scare cannon of like what's happening with our world in context, their context, not our reality, but their context. Um, and so I'm gonna move on from the topic now because again, I feel like it's a cis woman space to speak on, and I will probably have to contract some cis women to speak on that topic. So the reason that I am on here today, though, is to bring the light message. And as much as there is opposing right now the forward momentum of everything, there is all the more reason to stay within ourselves. And again, although the world seems to chain you down and strap your mouth shut, you can really find that refuge in your own wisdom. And everything that we've gone through has been nothing new set under the sun. Today, if you're a cis woman, you are still powerful. You are still strong. There is, legs for you to stand on, and a soul that is within you that cannot be broken. And so, it's always good to remember every moment that we've come to now and everything that we've lived through now, because that's really the true essence of kind of what matters, is our own experience. It may sound like a cliche thing to say, like it's my story, but it is. It's your existence, and you have to make the most of it, no matter what's happening around you, no matter what's being put on you against your will. Try to really just press through and find your momentum and rise above it. Moving into energies for today, we're going to be talking about watch what you are manifesting, watch what you're saying. This is kind of in the way of listening to certain music. If you're constantly, saying that this is happening, oh my god, and which I kind of did start the stream, but again, it's something that's been on my mind as a plethora of other things. So I have all this time been practicing this. Watch what I'm saying, watch what I'm thinking about, and watch how I'm interacting with the world around me. Now, what does that mean? I'm not going to give in to this world sucks. Our generation sucks. America sucks. Like, it's an easy thing to make a meme out of what's happening, and it's another thing entirely to take the reality and pull yourself away from it enough to say, no, I'm going to set a different standard within my own reality. I'm going to set a different tone within my own circle. I'm going to talk differently with myself. That way I talk differently to those I truly care about. That way my life doesn't become a meme. That way, the conversation that I keep isn't just about the downward spiral. It's about the upward, effort. And as long as I can keep this my own personal reality, then it stands that I can help somebody else into that. And I can leave a stepping stone for others to follow behind. And I hope that makes sense. Like, we spend so much time in on ourselves. I don't do enough. I don't make enough. I don't look good enough. The rhetoric, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. It can really get drilled into your head to the point where you believe it. You can start to second guess some of the biggest moves that you're making. You can start, marginalizing yourself and what other people are thinking about you and making them more important. And now you are the margin. Now you are the outcast. And you believe it. And you step back and you say, oh, by all means, sir, go, or madam, go ahead of me. I don't deserve it. You go right ahead because I'm not worthy of it. That's really what it's talking about, is stop perpetuating that narrative with, songs talking about, this and that and the other, or watching shows where somebody's constantly struggling or people are always being murdered. Entertainment's fine, but it's the overconsumption that's really the problem in today's society, is the overconsumption of media that leads to, this downward spiral of our personal experience, and it's not go outside and climb a mountain. It's not, start eating more greens and vegetables. It really comes down to monitoring where your mind wanders and what kind of food you're giving, or what kind of food for thought you're consuming, so to speak. Like, so I would say, maybe watch something more intelligent based. And I'm not saying like I'm one. I can play video games from morning to night, like no problem. And if nobody was there to stop me, including myself, I would indulge in all kinds of debauchery. And that's really why I do this kind of stuff, is because it's my own higher thinking, my own ascended self speaking through me to tell me, that you're meant to do more here than just be baseline, be basic. We're not here to be basic. So I mean, leading right into that, we're going to be letting go of our old cycle. And the old cycle was struggle, and the old cycle was disappointment and hardship, and I can't believe I spent this much here and that much there. But that cycle's over. That cycle has moved, and you're now standing in front of this new beginning for yourself. And that forward momentum is going to depend on you cycling through and saying, I'm no longer going to participate in my downfall. I'm no longer going to participate in mental blockages. And I'm no longer going to say, sir, madam, go ahead of me because I'm not worthy. I'm worthy, and I'm here. And I'm gonna get mine. Again, can come off as arrogant, can come off as selfish, but you've worked for this. You've worked for this, and it's time for you to step into it. It's so important to lay everything out in front of you and say, I got here, and now I'm going to execute. So letting go of that old cycle is going to help you transform your way of thinking into the next level, the big leagues, if you want to call it. It's imperative that this happens for you this way. So how do we do that? Well, we distribute our sense of security, and we really ask ourselves, what are we secure in? Are we secure in our physical appearance? Are we secure in our financial stability? Are we secure in our home environment? Are we secure while we're busy at work, while we're working out? So there's places where that's going to be extreme, and there's places where that's going to be minimal. So your next chapter is going to be about becoming stable in all those arenas. You should be equally as powerful in all those arenas, because you don't change with the external experience. You're still yourself interacting with the external experience. So it's important to claim that as you move through, this and that, and finding yourself in a daunting position, that you're not really comfortable with. For me lately, it's exercise regularly. I feel silly when I'm there, but I shouldn't. I should feel secure on a treadmill. I should feel secure, lifting weights. I've done it before. I don't know why I'm acting brand new, so I don't know if I'm coming off as, jibber jabbery, but again, it's been a minute, so forgive me. What we're moving into is staying true to what you believe in and what your core values are. So again, as we trickle down from finding that security and equalizing it in our life, the way to that is remembering who you are, as ever changing as that is, and allowing yourself to mobilize in each of these arenas, because these are your core values. This is who I am. This is who I come from. It's a very root chakra energy, very that. I'm here to perform and be myself. And if that's offensive, if that's, directly intimidating, I used to be very against the whole girl boss attitude. I still am to a degree. It can be toxic. But you do have to bring that essence of just who you are, and you have to let people know who you are when you're interacting with them, or they will walk all over you, or they will push their trauma on you. They will try to push their victim mindset on you. And it's very ebb and flow when it comes to that. It's very, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Like, we live in that world right now. And there's good reason that we live in that world, because a lot of lines have been breached. Still, though, to the point of staying true to what your core values are isn't a faith thing, it's not a political thing, it's your moral compass. So it's not really a black and white of what is right and what is wrong. It's a, again, it's like a compass. You're gonna to a certain degree feel a certain level of okayness with moving forward, and you should be following that. You should definitely be following that. This other one, as we move down, and the way that we do that is we stop enforcing our opinions on ourselves. We stop saying that I feel so extreme about this and that, that I'm not. I'm if you're not here with me, then I don't want anything to do with you. Like, that is such a divisive thing to separate and conquer the humanity within us, to turn us into the modern slave trade. That it's, I mean, one, it's brilliant as a business plan when you look at, the financial energy that every person on this planet represents, and the work that we grow up believing that we have to do before we die is one of the most brilliant business models ever conceived. However, we are both light and dark, so don't front me for seeing that and applauding it, because it's brilliant. Where that lapses is there's no leeway from that work ethic. There's no space for, being the human being that we have incarnated as. And that's why all of this new age talk of, be who you are, follow your own, presence, be present in the moment, like, that's why it sounds so guru-y and like so out of the box thinking, is because we are just not conditioned to do those things. We are conditioned to work and work and work, maybe sleep 3 or 4 hours, get up and work, repeat. If you hear me, you hear me. And if you don't, then you're probably still at your mom's house or your dad's house, or if you're lucky enough, your parents' house. But even our children, it's being imposed on them now, on top of everything else being imposed on them. I'm not going to get into gun safety, but it's important. Gun safety is important. So life doesn't have to be this and that either, or you can remain in this area of beautiful gray where everything kind of just is, and you have access to it all. There's no villains and heroes in this new reality. It's quantum. It's all of it. The horns are holding up the halos of all those that are around us, myself included. So, just be very with the awareness of that as we move through into this new cycle. As we move through, and a lot of this is coming from the cancer, the moon is in Cancer right now. And so that's why it's very, check in with, this is where I am, this is how I stand on things, this is how I feel about things, this is why I'm emotionally speaking my mind, even though my mind is not an emotional thing. So again, the daily overviews, we're going to go down the list here. New beginnings start today. This is the Sun conjunct a natal ascendant. So, get out there and start something new. I've been making pasta. And my partner's like, I'm done. And I'm like, I don't get why you're done. And he's like, why aren't you making rice? And I'm like, because I don't like rice. Because when I make rice, being a Mexican, I make Spanish rice. And that's pretty much it. But he's Filipino, and I have to I have to account for the fact that I'm dating a Filipino who's Slightly resenting me because I never make rice. I'm sorry, okay? I don't know. Anybody who's interculturally dating, like, it's a struggle for sure. Love him to death, but it's a struggle. So, my new beginning is I gotta learn to like rice, y'all. So, not even just Spanish rice. I have to learn to like white rice, and white rice is just the worst. Um, but moving on from that, we're moving into the Sun Trininatal Saturn. I mean, there's magic in you right now. There's so much momentum happening. In my life as well, there's as as crazy as it is externally, like what's happening within us and around us personally, it's of magnitudes that we've only dreamed of. We are reaching the highest high, and I would even say this to younger viewers: you are kind of priming for this huge shift and this huge, conjunction with what life could be, what you thought life could be. You're in conjunction with that. You're transitioning into that. Life can be great, or life can be miserable. What are you conjunctioning with? So again, this goes back to mind what you're manifesting. And remember, you are always manifesting with your mind. So if you want relationship problems, then listen to songs about relationship problems. Listen to songs about how I can't be faithful or how he can't be faithful, and I'm ready to leave his ass. It's that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's a bop is a bop, but once you start listening to it on repeat, it becomes spellcraft. And I don't know if that might be too deep for some of you, but those are some heavy emotions that are put into lyrics. And abracadabra is I speak, therefore I create. That's why a lot of hip hop artists become successful, because they speak it so many times that it becomes a thing. Wow, I like that connection. Yeah, so again, and just to affirm it again, Venus, Trin, Natal Mars, we're going to all get what we want. It's all about getting what you want, you know. And if that's money, then the more power to you. If that's peace of mind, even more power to you. If that's health, wealth, and real happiness, then all the most highest abundance to you. It's here. It's here. Believe it. Date bayo. You know. We're moving out of this old cycle of self-indulgence. Lord knows that I've just been kind of dragging my behind on a lot of things, and it's so crazy because I swear doing the bare minimum for me some days is breaking the glass ceiling. And it's like, oh, effort's a thing, and if when I do show effort, a lot of stuff happens, and that's awesome. So trust me, like, get out there and show some effort. You will shock and surprise yourself. However, if you're still not there, don't worry. You still have the next 24 hours to sleep in and do what you need to do. Giving and taking, and there's a lot of that going on right now. Big ups to, my community, the LGBTQ community out here in Vegas. I can't speak for the entire community because I don't know everyone like that, but the people that I do know, I tend to float to those with like the bigger hearts, those fairy godparents type of gays, blue fairy kind of gays. And all that means is, we do genuinely, like, we'll rip each other to filth when we see each other, but when we need something or when we need each other, it's so good, and I have so much gratitude for being gay here in Vegas, because my Vegas gays, we are really there for each other, and a lot of us be doing the most, and some of us be doing too much, but it's good to see, and I can't really get into the details of what I'm talking about, but I just love this community out here in Vegas. It's really a blessing to have wound up here because of that sense of, ebb and flow with give and take. If I have and you need, I'll be there for you. And that's not just a gay thing, and I know that. I have a lot of cis straight friends who are also very giving and loving and have the highest intentions to give with all their heart. And that's really what I'm seeing lately, is just everybody's there and willing to help and mobilize so that we can all make that big jump again with that conjunction to that higher next level living that we all want and we all deserve, so that we all don't believe ourselves into some other reality where we believe we're not enough, where we believe that we are a victim, where we believe that we are, always going to be the margin. And that may be true, but in your own reality, you should be the biggest star, because you're the closest in proximity to yourself before you're the closest to the proximity of any, privilege or poverty around you. Moon transits for the day. We're going to be having some rewarding experiences going down, enhanced creativity. I don't know if that's evident in today's stream because, again, it's been a minute. We're going to be feeling very affectionate, and I feel very affectionate towards you all today. You look great. And that leads up with feeling sincere, so I mean it. Again, though, it's all about this moon in Cancer right now. It's very just emotional speaking. And Cancer always wears their heart on their sleeve. They'll tell you exactly how they feel because they trust you to do it. So. Last one is, as we approach the evening around this time, we're going to be feeling against reason. And if you're watching this, then yes, we are very against reason. And rightly so, because the world is not right now. So we got to kind of rage against the light. It's all good. Mars is in Taurus. This is going to be not really conflicts, but watch for conflicts in the home. If you want to move stuff around, it's a great kind of energy combination for redecorating, moving some stuff. I wanted to hang up this picture. Like, the house should be in action. You should be in action in your house. Or wherever your safe space is, be in action for it. Venus is in Cancer, so all of our relationships again right now are also emotional. Talk about how you feel. It's a good day for it. If it's hard for you to talk about how you feel, choose today. Again, I'm going to be making rice because I understand how he feels. And I do most of the cooking, so I subject him to a lot of heavy eating, which is why I'm heavy. Mercury and Leo, conversation is going to be all about you. As a wise man once said, it's all about you. Mercury and Leo. So just, in that, I'm not saying it's bad to talk about yourself. Today's the day for it. So if you meet somebody who's willing to listen, then, take the opportunity and get some things off your chest. Speaking of Leo, though, we are in the Leo. It is Leo season. So happy birthday to all the Leos. And, yeah, on that note, I'm going to pull a card now. And we're going to go ahead and just, see where we're at on this soul journey. Nope. Oh, real quick. We have current retrogrades going on right now. Pluto in Capricorn. So this is really having to do with, like, the rebirth, not even rebirth, but more just the death of your old way of working things out and the hard way of doing things. It's just more evident that is now over. Let the hard way of doing things, let the hard work that needs to be done for things, let that die. It's okay. Let it go. You don't need to work hard all the time. It's good to just let things be easy. But you have to believe it up here to bring it down into here and around you out here. So it's a time to really kind of go with ease. Saturn's in Aquarius, so that's a rebirth of our higher thinking. That's a rebirth of, you know, what's happening in our higher house of like higher learning. So you're going to be having a lot of great ideas that you didn't really see coming before. So that's where that's at. Neptune and Pisces. Breaking through is all about going with the flow. There's no stronger element than water to really help you break through that rough patch. And you don't really have to even go through it. Just flow around it. Alright? That kind of all speaks for itself. And what perfect oracle card to kind of find ourselves at the end of today's light stream. Baby steps. And baby steps are powerful because they're action. And that's the first word on this card. It says action. Follow your intuition. What were we talking about earlier? Owning up to that truth, the truth in yourself. That's your highest calling today, is to own yourself. Again, don't be a girl boss and don't be toxic, but just remind people who you are and trust yourself when you're doing it. So follow your intuition before any of it makes sense. And that's kind of what this whole stream is every week. It's something that doesn't make sense until it does. No. I love that. But yes, we see this woman, and she's kind of gone as far as she could go on this cliff side. But look at her. She's at a gateway. Did she know that, you know, where she would end up is before this gateway? And does she have the courage to step through it? That's where we're at right now. You have the courage to step through any ordeal, any hardship, any trial. It's why you're here. It's what we're experiencing right now in the real time. Every day, every moment. We're constantly pressing on, and we're trying to find our ebb and our flow and our momentum. And it's not always easy, but it can be if we can learn to allow things to come to where we are. It will be where you are, always. Love, money, security, peace. And again, because we're two sides of the same coin, also hardship, poverty, you know, feeling distraught, despair, unloved, misunderstood. Sorry, my cat. I misunderstood you, cat. Go. No, I'm just kidding. On that note, I'm going to take a minute here and go quiet. And as we kind of look at this card, I just want you to bring about what your mind is talking to you, or what your mind is bringing to the front for you, and just sit with that. It could be words, it could be, you know, just a feeling, but try to find it and be there. You guys, it's always been a blessing to kind of just sit up in front of this camera and give, you know, just give. And if you've been open to receive it, then I hope that, you know, all of this does lead you to that big conjunction to the next level. And I'm praying for you all, and again, a lot's been on our souls, a lot's been on our hearts, a lot's been on our minds. And that's okay. It is part of life to kind of feel those things and be with them heavily, because it's heavy being human. But it can also be light, and it can also just flow, like you're in a stream. See what I did there? I'm going to go ahead and pop off now, and I will probably be on later playing some video games. I've been playing Soldiers, so it's a really good game. I haven't really been playing lately, like I said. I'm kind of just, I'm still not certain of what's going to happen for my friend. So if you're watching this, just please a prayer for my friend and that their path is their own. And with that, I'm going to end today's live stream. All right. Thank you guys so much.